Hey everybody, Arnaldo here, broadcasting from Fidelio's Frequency. Welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about a little road trip that I took south of New York City to the Jersey Shore, as we refer to it here in the Northeast, a place called Asbury Park, which many of you are familiar with that name because it is part of the title of Bruce Springsteen's debut album, Greetings from Asbury Park, and more importantly, because it is the home to a very famous music venue called the Stone Pony. And it was very appropriate that the record fair that I visited was being held at the Stone Pony. The record fair, I think it's called Asbury Park Record Fair, was sponsored and organized by Holdfast Records, and it gave me the opportunity to visit the Stone Pony, which I had never been inside the Stone Pony. I visit Asbury Park. I have been visiting Asbury Park for the past 7 or 8 years for just a long beach weekend, and I enjoy the atmosphere at Asbury Park. They also have a summer stage that is adjacent to the music venue, the Stone Pony, but I had never been inside the Stone Pony. So this was a great opportunity for me to visit the Stone Pony and also to check out this record fair. Before I show you the stack of records that I got at the record fair, I'd also like to show you a little tour of this famous music venue that was home and saw the debut of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, Southside Johnny along with Little Steven, John Bon Jovi. So many acts performed there during the 50 years, a little bit more than 50 years. I believe it was opened in 1974 of existence, and all groups have played there. Punk, classic rock, all types of music has been performed at the Stone Pony. So I took some footage of the record fair. I took some footage of the iconic guitars that are all over the walls of the Stone Pony. So cut to the footage of the record fair, a couple of flip throughs, and then we'll take a look at the stack of records that I got there. Road trip today to a record fair at a very special location here in New Jersey, Asbury Park. As you can see from the awning behind me, we are at the Stone Pony, and let's go take a look at the Holdfast Records record fair. I hope you noticed at the very end of the footage, I showed the most iconic pieces, the two guitars, probably the most famous ones, because I don't know, there's probably 100 guitars all over these walls. And I had to ask the bartender there, who had been a resident bartender for quite a bit, to point out which were the most famous guitars. And she immediately pointed to the two guitars that are vertically on the wall right in front of the bar, one signed by Bruce Springsteen and the other one signed by John Bon Jovi. So I hope you picked them out in the video. Before I show you what I picked up at the record fair, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the atmosphere. I want to say there were about anywhere between 20 to 30 vendors, maybe tops. And it's a very unusual venue for a record fair because you have a section of the floor occupied by the big stage that you can probably see in the video, as well as the bar pit. So a slightly weird configuration that, in my opinion, didn't really offer that many options for all of these tables, which as soon as you enter, the main aisle was very tight. And when I entered, I want to say about almost 2 hours into the show, it was very packed and it was quite claustrophobic walking down and trying to flip through some of the vendors, to the point where I bypassed at the beginning the tables that are very much at the front entrance at the beginning of this record fair to focus more on the ones that were towards the back, because there were a lot of people and it was very, very packed. So that, in addition to another consideration, which I'd like to make, is the lighting. And in a video that I posted, I think it was last year at another record fair that was it was more like a record swap that was being held at TVI in borderline Queens, Brooklyn. Same thing, it was held at a music venue or kind of like a bar. And the lighting is always very challenging. In that situation, it was quite terrible. In this one, it was good in some parts and bad in others. And in others, there was way too much light. One of the vendors was actually complaining to me because he was smack in front of a big spotlight that was being shone across the venue, and it was hitting him a smack in the face. Yes, it made for great lighting, but it was quite annoying according to him. So let me show you now what I picked up at the record fair. The first table that I stopped at, I was actually quite lucky because, like I said, I bypassed some of the tables towards the entrance and I went further back. There was this collection who I learned from the dealer was sourced from a DJ. This DJ, throughout the years, going back as far back as the early 70s, I believe he worked at a record station. He was collecting and receiving all of these promo copies, which he was just bringing home, not even playing them, or maybe a few of them he played very few times, but he was amassing this huge collection of promos. And to go along with the shirt that I am sporting today, I picked up a US copy in excellent, I want to say near mint condition, of Low. This is the first album of David Bowie's Berlin trilogy, Low, Heroes, Lodger. Excellent condition, as you can see here. It does have the promo stamp. I listened to it, sounds great. Eventually, I will do a comparison to one of the many reissues that I have of this album and of various other David Bowie albums. But this one was great to add this one to the collection. Another album that I picked up from that same dealer table and from the same collection kicks up the promo one more notch, in as much as, besides having the promo stamp in the back, it is a legit white label promo with the sticker for radio stations to check the tracks and check the timing, as well as it being a white label promo, as you can see here. This Bob Dylan album, by the way, Desire by Bob Dylan, that came out in 1975. Probably not the best sounding or best recorded Bob Dylan album. Still sounds okay to me. in the fact that it is a mint copy and it is supposedly one of the initial pressings, it being a white label promo. So this was nice because I don't have this album on vinyl. To round off my purchases at John's Table, I believe that was the name of the dealer, same collection, the DJ promo collection. I picked up another promo, not a white label promo, but definitely one of the initial batches that were sent out to DJs. As you can see here, same stamp on the back. And this is an album that is on my essential jazz albums list, a list that was compiled by a very good friend of mine who knows quite a bit about jazz. So I've been waiting to find this Jaco Pastorius. I'm not really sure how his name is pronounced. I was somewhat familiar to his bass playing, but never listened to this album. This is the one that's always been recommended to me, not only by a good friend of mine, but by many, and maybe by many is also considered one of his best albums. So it was great to stumble across a very affordable price for this copy. At the same table, I found an upgrade of a copy of a record that I currently own. An upgrade not in terms of the vinyl, because the copy I have sounds fantastic, excellent condition, as well as the album cover, but I'm referring to the hype sticker of this record. And I typically don't obsess over hype sticker, but this is one that I really wanted to have because it's a beautiful hype sticker. And I'm talking about Prince and the Revolutions Around the World in a Day. And the hype sticker, as you can see here, is beautiful. It's intact. It is this little boy with transparent with the balloon that holds the title of the album. I got very lucky because this is still sealed, mint condition, except for a hole punch, which indicates that it probably was a cutout, but very happy to find an intact hype sticker of this great album by Prince. My next stop was at the table of a dealer that I have seen at various other fairs. I run into him all the time. His name is Mike. His table's called Vinyl Rescue. I see him at local fairs in Massapequa. I've seen him at major fairs like WFMU. Also saw him here at Asbury Park. And I picked up a few interesting things, 2 upgrades, and 1 copy that I've been chasing for quite a bit. I have the US copy as well as a reissue. And I've always thought that this album sounded a little thin, so I wanted to always find an original UK pressing of U2's War. So I was able to successfully find a copy of this, also because the UK version comes with custom labels, the custom labels that you see here. And it comes with a textured sleeve, so I was glad to add that to the collection. Then next up at Mike's table, I found 2 upgrades. Yes, on the quest to find perfect mint copies of John Lennon's original discography, I've been buying multiple copies, trading them off, selling off the ones that I like the least, that are in the not as good condition, and I could not pass up an upgrade copy of Imagine. I think I'm pretty much done now with buying Imagine. I found a solid copy also because it came with all of the inserts, really hard to find, especially in great condition. Not only does it come with the original inner sleeve, the die-cut inner sleeve in excellent condition, with the credits as well as the lyrics, it comes with the 2 postcards, one of John Lennon, the famous picture of John mocking Paul's ram cover, holding instead the boar, or is that a pig? As well as the other postcard that was included in the set. And also the famous and beautiful poster in excellent condition. Here we go. So that was great to find all the inserts and to find a solid copy of Imagine. So the second John Lennon record was not an upgrade. It's the first time I own this copy. I have a reissue. I've always put this one off because I don't want to say it's controversial. There are very divisive opinions about this album, probably not one of his strongest solo efforts, and I'm talking about Sometime in New York City. Excellent, very good condition first pressing, And albeit I found out afterwards, it's missing the postcard, the one of the Statue of Liberty, but I'm trying to source the postcard separately. But it does come, and I've never seen it, come with the original petition sheet, which is the sheet that was included in each copy for fans or people to gather names and petition the United States to keep John and Yoko in the United States. And as you see here, it was supposed to be mailed out to a P.O. box that was collecting all the petition submissions to keep John and Yoko in the United States. And finally, the last two purchases that I made were one impulsive, one is another upgrade. So the first one, I was on the fence about getting this because of the price, but the dealer worked out a very good price with me, and I've always wanted to add The Man Comes Around. I believe it's called American Recordings number 4 by Johnny Cash. After buying this, I brought it home. I did check the matrix number, and very quickly, and also trusted the sticker that the post-it note that the dealer had put on it, indicating that it was a first URP pressing, until I got home and I checked carefully the matrix numbers and noticed that there is one particular thing about this copy which corresponded to an unofficial entry on this Discogs entry. And after much research and comparing, I think we shouldn't always believe what Discogs puts on there, never believe the internet. And I think there's been a lot of discussion about this entry of the unofficial copy. I highly doubt that it's a legit unofficial entry because there are too many signs that point to my copy and this copy as being a first pressing. It may have had a repress of the album cover, but the matrix number is dead on the same as the one that's listed as a URP, and it's hand etched, which makes me think that it is a legit copy because unofficial copies typically are not hand etched and don't go to the extent of recreating a logo, an etched logo of URP. So debate is still out, maybe, but I'm 97% sure that I didn't buy an unofficial or bootleg copy. So, whew. And now the last purchase of the day, practically as other dealers were already packing up their tables, I was able to get to one of the tables that I bypassed at the very beginning because it was too crowded, towards the front of the entrance. And I did also post a flip through video of this table. You'll notice it because you'll see one of the albums that I picked out, and that is a copy of Kiss's Love Gun album from 1977, which I already own an original first pressing purchased in 1977. But I'm always intrigued as to what condition these albums are because I played mine on really terrible record players. So I'm always looking to upgrade some of these original pressings, and I could not have found or stumbled across a better upgrade for this Love Gun. So I would say the cover, apart from this little sticker residue, is in VG condition, but more importantly, the inner sleeve is mint. It's intact, no seam splits, as opposed to the copy that I own. And yes, it does come with the mailing label for all the merch, which I still had, I never mailed out. And the most important piece of this album is the Love Gun, which I put together, I assembled, and almost destroyed. I found an intact copy of the Love Gun along with the little sheet that you're supposed to glue onto it. So very happy for this purchase, for this find, excellent. I listened to the album, it sounds better than the copy that I own. Seems like whoever owned it didn't even play it. So very happy for the upgrade of Kiss's Love Gun. So I hope you enjoyed the road trip down to Asbury Park. Hope you enjoyed seeing the inside of the Stone Pony. For those of you who are far away, who'll probably never get a chance, I hope this video was useful and you guys got a kick out of it. Let me know what you think about my picks. Did I score? Do they suck? Leave a comment, ask a question. I always love to engage with the audience. More importantly, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. There's a little button there that you can click, and it helps the channel out a lot. It helps the channel grow and give it more visibility. So that's all for today. I will see you on the next one. Bye.